What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. Been a little bit since we've done one of these, but we're back here with another throwback rebuild here on Madden 25. I'm waiting for the NFL draft to happen for us to get back to doing all the new look rebuilds because we really can't do anything much else from what I've already done until the draft is over, and it's still quite a ways away, unfortunately. But to fill the gap, we'll be doing some random things, so I figured why not start off with a throwback rebuild, and today we're going to be going back to the Green Bay Packers when they had a damn good team on their hands. So let's just go look at it. This is back when Aaron Rodgers was still, I think, somewhat young at the quarterback position. But let's go ahead, jump in, and do the Green Bay Packers back in 2011 and 2012, or 2011 and 2012. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciate it. Especially drop a like. Enjoy these throwback rebuilds. Also, we are on the road to 10,000 subs, and YouTube tells me about 85% of the people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you do follow that, want to change that would be greatly appreciated. So let me show you what we're working with, because like I said, they have a damn good roster. So we have Aaron Rodgers as a 99 overall. We have Grant, who I don't think this is actually Ryan Grant. Was he really a running back at one point? I remember him being a wide receiver for the Washington Redskins, but maybe there's another Ryan Grant. That's interesting though. I do remember John Starks for sure. We have Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, a young Jordy Nelson at that, Randall Cobb. You have Clifton, Long, Wells, Sitton. I remember Josh Sitton as well. Brian Bulag, I remember him. Gerald Michael Finley. So yeah, like I said, the Green Bay Packers were very talented. Of course, this team eventually went on to win the Super Bowl. Tremont, not this season, but I think it was the next one, if I'm not mistaken. I wasn't watching football like that crazy back then, but I know they beat the Steelers, obviously, with Aaron Rodgers, and that was his one and only ring. They made it to the NFC Championship quite a few times, and then Charles Woodson was on here too. So yeah, a really good looking roster that obviously the Packers have. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and simulate year number one, but obviously schemes needs to change because the scheme fits aren't the best. So we're going to change these, and obviously these are with the current playbooks that are in Madden 25 today. But regardless, we're going to see how this team does with Aaron Rodgers under center. So I'll see you guys at the end of year one. Let's see how this Packers team does. 88 overall, 92 offense, 84 defense. So obviously the expectation for me is that we will make the playoffs, but we'll see. So at the end of the first season, we end up going 14-3 and in fact make the playoffs as we win the second seed. So the Eagles ended up going 14-3, better than us. So Aaron Rodgers looks like he had a damn good season along with Greg Jennings. So let's look at the player stats in that regard. So offensively, we were first in the NFL, which makes a lot of sense. And then defensively, we were 21st. So you have 44-9 from Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Grant with 11 touchdowns, 800 yards, Aaron Rodgers with 299 rushing yards, and Starks had 260 as well on the ground. Receiving, we had Greg Jennings, Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson, 15 touchdowns from Nelson, 17 from Greg Jennings, and then Jerry Michael Finley added 600 yards, 4 touchdowns as well. Sacks wise, you had 10.5 from Ryan Pickett, 3.5 from Clay Matthews, 2.5 from Wilson, 2 from Desmond Bishop, 2 from AJ Hawk, and 2 from BJ Raji. Obviously, the AJ Hawk that is now featured on the Pat McAfee show. But let's go ahead, jump in, and play the Giants in round one. I do believe in real life this is where the Giants won the Super Bowl, and the Giants have beat, I think I just looked it up before this, they beat the Packers in the divisional weekend this year. So let's see if we can rewrite history and perhaps beat the Giants this time around. Aaron Rodgers versus Eli Manning here in Wild Card Weekend. So let's see how this is going to go, as we have ourselves a 0-0 ball game thus far. Until now, we go up 7-0. There's our offense, but the Giants do respond as well, and we will make it 14-7. Defensively, get a stop, and now we're up 17-7. I think if we keep getting the ball to our offense, that will probably lead to success, and that is exactly what's happening right now. Charles Woodson with a big interception, and that'll put the game away. So just like that, first playoff game in this video goes successfully. I'll be playing whoever's in front of us in divisional weekend. Now it's time to square off against the Matt Ryan Falcons, who I believe had Julio Jones at this point as well. So, and then I think, oh man, Roddy White, I think was the other receiver who was a stud back then for them. So we got a snowy day at Lambeau, which makes a ton of sense, and we will go up 7-0. We got 3-7, and I know you guys just saw, yeah, Matt Bryant, by the way. Matt Bryant will always have an interesting place in my head, because my first ever fantasy football team ever had Matt Bryant as my kicker, and he dropped like 16 week one, and I'll never forget that because it helped me win. So I have a special place in my heart for Matt Bryant, I guess. But we might lose here to him, and we will. So the Falcons will beat us in divisional weekend, unfortunately. We will not be advancing to the NFC Championship, so I feel like just like in real life, the Packers lost divisional, we lose here as well. So let's get to the offseason and see if we can make our team better. Unfortunately, fall short, which is something the Packers often did with Aaron Rodgers under center. They should have had more than one Super Bowl. Unfortunately, only led to one, but let's at least try to get one again, potentially even two in these last 2 upcoming seasons, hopefully. So on to the re-signing stage, as there's only 4 players to talk with about re-signing, so that's interesting. The Eagles and the Steelers squared off in the Super Bowl, and it looks like the Steelers won. I know it says the Eagles won, but I think it's always backwards. It always shows backwards in there. So Greg Jennings, superstar X Factor, probably have to keep him. BJ Rodgers is a 5th-year option, which we'll accept. Dietrich Smith and Matt Flynn can go, but Greg Jennings obviously just had a terrific season with Aaron Rodgers, so we're gonna go ahead and bring him back. He's only 28 years old, so yeah, that makes a lot of sense. As far as a 5th-year option, Dietrich Smith, we probably won't accept that considering he's a 68 overall. That is fine to let him go. So let's go to free agency and let's see what's out there available to us with our $90 million in cap space. So let's go take a look. So we look at the lineup right now and seeing if anybody went up in depth trades. I have to assume Rodgers went up too. I don't remember if Rodgers was just star dev or he was superstar X Factor, but I think he was only star dev, but I could be wrong. So obviously Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, Randall Cobb, and James Jones. Like, we really don't need to touch anything on the offense. Even the O-line is decent enough. The only thing that could clearly needs to be addressed is a running back spot. We definitely could use a different running back. Forgot about Jonathan Kuhn as well, man. That's another name I should not have forgot about. But we have Collins, Clay Matthews, Sam Shields, Tremont Williams, BJ Raji. So obviously the D-line could use a little bit of help. So yeah, I think mainly our main problem would be on the defensive side of the football. So we'll go see if that's able to be addressed in the offseason or not. So let's go take a look to see who is a free agent for this roster. So we have Ray Lewis. Wow, that'd be pretty wild signing off the bat. We have Matt Prater. You have Matt Nugent. So after Ray Lewis, it kind of falls off a little bit. Not going to lie, but we got Jason Jones. So draft is probably going to have to be our best friend in this one. We could bring in another corner with Leotis McKelvin just in case. He's only 26 years old, so could maybe develop here. It looks like Charles Woodson might have retired, so losing him is unfortunate. Ray Lewis, though, I think I would be remiss if I didn't go after him, right? I mean, we do have some good linebackers, but I mean, it's Ray Lewis, right? So I'm going to throw Ray Lewis an offer. He has no interest in coming here, so my doubts of him, I have doubts that he'll actually sign here. But 37 years old, and we are his number 1 offer, but the Commanders are right there next to us. I guess they're the Redskins, obviously, back then. Let's see if we can get Ray Lewis. And I mean, this will be probably our only 2 free agency additions, unfortunately. Probably have to address the rest through the draft. So let's see. We do get Leotis McKelvin. We do not get Ray Lewis, unfortunately. He goes to the Washington Redskins. Okay. We have Keith Rivers. Is he more of a... I actually don't remember Keith Rivers that much. And again, I didn't watch football like that back then. But he is interested in coming here. Let's see what his prototype is. So he's more of a pass rusher, which I do think we could use, even just for depth. He may not even be a starter. But obviously in this scheme, he'd be moved down to the right end. So I'm going to throw him an offer with him being interested. Only normal dev, only 26 years old. Gives us some depth at that linebacker, or that end spot, I should say. So we'll go for him as well. And he should sign pretty easily there. So these are only 2 additions, which is nothing to write home about. We obviously still have the draft in front of us, and we have the luxury of knowing who became good or not. So Commanders get, like I said, or I guess Redskins got Ray Lewis back, or got Ray Lewis. We also need a running back really badly. So let's move Keith Rivers down to one of the end spots. We definitely need a D tackle for sure. So that's going to be something we need to address. But other than that, I will see you guys in the draft, unless if I have a trade on my sleeve, or, we'll see though. I honestly wouldn't mind trading for a running back unless we could just draft one. But I'm more than likely just see you in the draft because we need to take advantage of all the picks we can get. So here is your draft order, as we will be picking at number 28. So let's go ahead and see. Oh, wow. That just appeared instead of it usually does the 1 by 1 by 1. I don't know. Whatever. It works, I guess. Okay. So Luck and Robert Griffin go. Ryan Tannehill is number 3 and Brandon Whedon is number 4. Damn, that's an interesting draft board so far. Okay. So let's see what we have available to us on the board. So we have Josh Norman, which, we could use a corner. Obviously, Norman is listed at free safety in this draft. We have Dontari Poe, which actually... it's kind of something we do need. As far as running backs are concerned, I did want to see what we had as an option. We have Lamar Miller, who ended up being a solid running back, but the rest of this is not very good. Of course, there's a lot of no-name players, which I can appreciate. If someone took their time to, make sure there's no fake guys, I guess. But Dontari Poe, I definitely think is where we start. We do need another D tackle next to BJ Raji. And damn, would that be a crazy duo. Poe and BJ Raji are some big fellas. So yeah, we'll take that. So welcome to Green Bay, Dontari Poe. I mean, you really can't go wrong with that. Him and BJ Raji should be able to just soak up the defensive line themselves. There's so much body with those two guys. Okay, for round 2, let's see what our options here now. So we got Donald Stevenson, Winston Guy, Brandon Mosley, Nate Potter, Brandon Taylor, Josh Bush, Whitney Merciless. I do remember Whitney Merciless. I don't know if he ever in Drake Kirkpatrick, Mike Martin. Okay. Alshon Jeffrey. We don't need a wide receiver, though. Casey Hayward, who did end up on the Packers in real life. We could draft him again, which I don't hate the idea of because we could use another corner. So I do think I am going to draft Casey Hayward here. I believe he was drafted by the Packers regardless. I know he went to the Chargers at one point. But Casey Hayward, number 21 true value. So damn good pick. So welcome to Green Bay, Casey Hayward. And to me, I think in round 3, we got to see if we can go get a running back in a trade because I really don't feel comfortable with Jonathan Starks being our running back going in. Unless if there's Lamar Miller. But even then, I mean, there is Lamar Miller. Do we just take Lamar Miller and rely on him to be the guy this year? Speed is great. I mean, yeah, we could. I don't know. Do we want to trade for one instead? Good question. I think we trade for one. We're contending. We're trying to, you know, make a Super Bowl and win it. So I definitely think trading. Oh, we also have Alfred Morris down here too, who ended up being a stud in his rookie season, obviously with the Redskins. But I think I'm going to see if I can trade for one before I draft one. If I draft one, though, I'll just show you the lineup going into season number 2. But I'm hoping we can make a trade for one because I really want to make this offense even better. So it looks like the offer we're going to make is going to be on Mark Ingram. If we look at Mark Ingram, he's only 22 years old and has superstar dev. So that is why we're all in on Mark Ingram. So I can only imagine a 3rd round pick does not get it done. So we're going to go ahead and offer also a 3rd next year. So 2 3rds for Mark Ingram. It's quite a bit to give up for a running back, I won't lie to you, but Mark Ingram being superstar and only 22 years old, I think it's worth it. So I'm going to make the offer, and they agree. So we get Mark Ingram to be our running back going into next season. So we got that settled. I really wanted to bring in a new running back in this backfield. We've done that, and now we'll have Mark Ingram added to this offense, and it's going to be even more dangerous. Our offense was already number 1 overall last year, so I can only imagine what it's going to be. I mean, I guess you can't go up for number 1, but still, should be dangerous. And we'll go take a look at the lineup for year 2 because this should be a fun looking defense. So let's go ahead and take a look at the lineup for year number 2 with the Green Bay Packers roster. And we have Mark Ingram, Aaron Rodgers in the backfield together with Jordy Nelson. I mean, this offense obviously didn't change much. The only thing we added was Mark Ingram, 81 overall, superstar, and he's 22 years old. So he should be a great contributor to this offense. Dontari Poe was in 76 right away. Casey Hayward's only a 77 right away, which is nice as well. So yes, the defense still could improve further, but I'm hoping, you know, with adding adding Casey Hayward and Dontari Poe, that it'll make our defense better. Like I said, Poe and BJ Raji, those are some big fellas, man, on that D-line. So hopefully they can absorb rushing lanes and make things happen. But all right, I will see you guys at the end of year 2. Obviously, the hope is that our offense is the same and our defense gets better, and that should lead us to potentially getting a Super Bowl in year 2, but we shall see. Well, boy, was I wrong with my expectations for this year because unfortunately we didn't even make the playoffs, which is quite bizarre, but that's exactly what happened. So honestly, it may not be the worst thing though because technically we'll have a good pick to add to this team, but man, that sucks. Offensively, 13th in the NFL, but maybe our defense still wasn't very good, 23rd in the NFL. So, wow, Aaron Rodgers threw 1 interception all season. I mean, he was really good at taking care of the football back in the day, so that doesn't surprise me too much, but Great Jennings, Jordy Nelson were incredible once again. Maybe it's defensively we need to change like the scheme in general, potentially. I don't know. Like, I know Clay Matthews was kind of like a do-it-all linebacker back in the day. He could cover, but he might be better off if we're going, you know, maybe if we change this to a 3-4 instead of keeping it at a 4-3, that might make our defense better next season if we're able to do that. So I might look into the idea of doing that, honestly, going into next season. I think that could maybe work better, but we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the offseason because clearly we're still not good enough. 14-3 to 8-9. Packers had some down years at times, but I do believe this was the year they actually won the Super Bowl. A little disappointing, but it's all good. Back to the drawing board. So I have a ton of cap space. Saints win the Super Bowl, and now we get to play, or I guess we don't get to play anybody. We get to re-sign our guys. So Josh Shitton, Clay Matthews, Jermichael Finley. Yeah, there's a lot of guys to take care of here, honestly. A lot. Okay, so let's get started. So first and foremost, I feel like every player I just saw, I want to keep. I feel good about this team. It's just a matter of changing the scheme, I think, on defense. So we can't lose Clay Matthews. He's our best defensive player. He wants to play for a new team, but I think Clay Matthews at 27 years old warrants a franchise tag for $12 million. Yeah, sign me up for that. Okay, Jermichael Finley, 91, 26 years old. He's going to test free agency, so might lose out on him. Jordy Nelson thankfully has interest in coming back, so let's see if we can bring him back. He will. Okay, what else we got? Desmond Bishop, 29 years old. Yep, sign me up. You and AJ Hawk, preferably. Nope, not going to happen there. Ramon Williams, who was our best corner last year, has regressed. So I actually think we'll let him walk because we actually need to get a #1 corner, honestly. TJ Lang, and then you got Brad Jones. So Brad Jones... we'll sign him just in case because we did just lose out on Desmond Bishop potentially. And then TJ Lang, AJ Hawk. So I'm going to try to resign AJ Hawk and TJ Lang, and I think we'll call it good after that. So AJ Hawk says no, and then we'll go for TJ Lang, and we'll let the rest of these guys go. So TJ Lang, let's see if we can get you to sign, hopefully. And he says no. Okay, so we lose out on a couple options. We definitely have a little bit of things to go after in free agency and the draft. So we traded a third, 2/3 to get Mark Ingram, so we are down a pick in this draft, which definitely hurts. But let's take a look at the lineup. So Clay Matthews was brought back, but like I said, I do think so. Offensive line only needs a guard, and technically we could just rock with Stallman and probably be okay. We do have a star dev tight end if we didn't want to go after another tight end, but I do want Finley back if possible. But like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to change this to a 3-4. We're going to see how that's going to do for us. So obviously some things need to be changed as far as positions are concerned, but I think a 3-4 could be nice, honestly. So we're going to move some things around here in just a second. But Clay Matthews, and then what is Jones' archetype more fitting? So yeah, he's also someone who could probably... So we're going to leave him at linebacker opposite of Clay Matthews, which is fine. And then we need to sign some middle linebackers, it looks like. It looks like we don't really have any at all. We have Smith, Raji, and Poe. We'll move Poe to one of the end spots, and then we can look at Guy and Rivers. And we can probably move Rivers and Guy, I assume, up to the linebacker spots. We'll see, though. Maybe another safety wouldn't hurt. But I'm going to change some things around. We'll go after some free agents, and then we'll be ready for next year, hopefully. So only 3 offers here in free agency, as we're obviously trying to bring back Finley. We're going after Desmond Bishop to bring back, and we're trying to bring Bears legend Brian Urlacher here to this defense as well. So let's see. We get Finley, Bishop, and Urlacher all to come to the Packers. So Bishop gets another offer, and we don't get Finley either. So may not get any of these guys we're going after, which would really be disappointing, honestly. But throw Bishop another offer, and we're not even going to get him. So we're going to only get Brian Urlacher, it looks like, and that's even if he signs. Might have to pivot to another middle linebacker, and they're just really... I mean, we could bring AJ Hawk back, I guess. Yeah, probably going to be half to what we do. So AJ Hawk will come back. That's fine. Gives us a middle linebacker option. And then there was Ed Reed, but he signed already, and there's Ryan Clark, 33. And yeah, so not a lot here. So, unfortunately... not anything too crazy. We probably could have gotten our running back this offseason, so trading for Mark Ingram probably wasn't even necessary. I'll throw Desmond Bishop an offer again, but my doubts are that he will come here, obviously, but we'll see if he does. So, Bishop, Urlacher, so these are all 3 middle linebackers. We do get Urlacher, AJ Hawk, and then, of course, we're waiting on AJ Hawk to make a decision. So, I'll throw him another offer. Let's see what he says to that, and he will sign. So, Urlacher and AJ Hawk are our middle linebackers, so that's all we really address. We still need a #1 corner, but thankfully we'll have a good pick, so I guess we can jump into the draft. We'll be picking high. Well, I mean, we went A9, so it's not going to have a top pick, but still should have a decent pick to where we can address our problems. But to me, the main issue is corner now. I think that's going to be what we need to address, but I'm going to be fine with this. I'm just going to leave the offensive line. It could be better, obviously, but and then tight end is now a problem too, but I guess we might have to roll with the young guy that we have. So this is what it looks like now. Secondary is my biggest concern right now. I think Clay moving to outside linebacker is going to make him even more impactful. So let's go ahead and see what we can do in the draft. So we're picking 16. So let's go ahead and see what we got. So Fluker, Jones, and we'll see what we can grab. So I'm hoping for like a good corner on the board. So we have Star Latule, which we don't necessarily... I mean, Richardson. So we do have some big boys that would make our D-line that much better. We got Lane Johnson too, man. There's some good... Ooh, Eric Reed. But I don't know. He didn't really become that... I don't know. We could go from DJ Swearinger, John Bostic, Jamar Taylor, Jonathan Hankins. There's a lot of good D tackles, but I don't know if there's a corner that we're looking for, unfortunately. There is Darius Slay, actually. So Slay could be kind of what we're looking for. So I think that's where we're going to go round one. So Darius Slay, speed being elite. Welcome to Green Bay, Darius Slay. So that gives us the corner we're looking for. Number 2 in true value, draft him at 16, 95 speed. So yeah, that is a big one. Big play Slay. Welcome to Green Bay. Never touches Detroit. Instead, comes to the green and yellow. All right, so now tight end Zach Ertz was here, and I do believe this is the draft class. Also, Travis Kelce is in, and lo and behold, Travis Kelce is here. Do we take Kelce or do we take a safety instead? Let's see what safety options we have. So we have Kenny Vaccaro, who I do remember, but I don't think he was ever that. Was he? I don't remember if he was that good, honestly. DJ Swearinger, remember him, obviously, from the Redskins. Okay, so not much. I think we will just go ahead and settle on Travis Kelce. That will replace, obviously, what we have. And we also have Jordan Reed, who was a stud for like a year. But yeah, Kelce will be the guy. So we'll walk away with Travis Kelce and Darius Slay. To me, that doesn't sound too horrible. So 14 true value, dropping to 48. Welcome our new tight end. We can go take a look at the lineup for year number 3. So the lineup for year number 3 is looking like this. So we got obviously Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb. We also have Travis Kelce, who's at 74, so move him there. So obviously offense should be good. Not too worried about that. Defensively, this is where we need things to be better, but I hope what we have added will be that. So I'm actually going to throw Darius Slay at cornerback 1 because I just want him to be great right away, and I think he will be. So defensively, the base 3-4 fit is probably the best it's been throughout the video. And honestly, we should probably move this defensive playbook as well if I had to guess. So who's a good team that runs a 3-4? Philly does. No, wait, does Philly run a 3-4? Yes, they do. They do. So we're going to run Philly's playbook. So they might run more than that, but in Madden they do. So yeah, it's a playbook base 4-3, but pretty sure it's always, I don't know. Regardless, they have 49 plays for the 3-4. So we'll take it, and I will see you guys at the end of year number 3, where hopefully we are back in the postseason. So at the end of the season, we went 15-2, and that's obviously what I wanted to see, as I assume we obviously got the first seed, and we did by a landslide. The closest team was the Cowboys at 12-5. So yeah, pretty awesome what we wanted to see. So obviously Greg Jennings and Aaron Rodgers tore it up again together. Let's go take a look to see if our defense was better. I can only assume it was with us being 15-2. So was the defensive change necessary? It was better. It was 13. So top 15 defense will absolutely take. 49-3 from Aaron Rodgers, still doing his thing. 17 touchdowns, 100 yards from Mark Ingram. You had Greg Jennings with 23 touchdowns. Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson, all 1,000 yards. Kelce wasn't involved too much, but only 400 in his rookie season. Even James Jones contributed a little bit there at the wide receiver 4 spot. So Clay Matthews in a new role had 8.5 sacks, 8 from Keith Rivers, 4 from Lawrence Guy, 3.5 from Dartari Poe, and then 9.5 from BJ Raji. You had 2 interceptions from Urlacher, 2 from Slay. What is his dev trait so far? He's superstar. This is what we needed. Literally what we needed right there. So thankfully we have a bye for Wild Card Weekend. So let's go see who we get to play in Divisional, where we last, of course, lost the first season. So for Divisional Weekend, we are going to play the Giants. So let's go see if we can beat them and get ourselves to the NFC Championship, where Aaron Rodgers lost quite a bit. But this time, we're going to win. We're going to make sure it happens that way. My OBS started screwing up, so the game has already started and we're down 3-0. So I think they started with the football, so my apologies, but I'm not really sure what happened. Not sure, but thankfully we're good now, I think anyway, and we're down 10-0. We get a big fumble recovery and we'll go 10-7. We cannot allow the Giants to do what they're trying to do right now, and we're going to go 14-10. That's big because we needed that to get back in this game. I'm not trying to lose the divisional weekend after going 15-2. So there's 4 minutes left, so all we need is a touchdown drive and this game is over. Of course, we won't get that. Instead, the Giants will make it 17-14 with little time remaining with 26 seconds left. Well, thankfully, we have an electric offense, and maybe we can find a way to dig ourselves out of this with 26 seconds, but we are definitely in trouble, to say the least. So I'm going to give Jordan Nelson a chance, and that's not going to go anywhere. We only need field goal range. We have Mason Crosby, who was a solid kicker back then. But man, I'm all out of sorts right now. Let's lock in. Okay. Well, we need... All right, let's go. I mean, we need a big play downfield. That was man coverage too, so I'm not really mad at taking that shot. So Greg Jennings obviously has been the guy in this video. So, But Cobb is a good player too. Can Cobb make a play? No. So far, these are not working. So maybe I should try something else. Let's go verticals, but with a little bit of a different vibe to it. All right. Travis Kelce, if you can find a way to get open, that would be awesome. Or just anybody. I'm going to give Travis Kelce a chance, please. And that, oh, did I just draw a pass interference? I might have just gotten bailed, dude. I did. Wow, I got absolutely bailed. There's no way that should have been PI. That was so overthrown, I feel like. But they want me to kick the field goal. And I probably should. But I'm going to take a risk here. I don't even want to go to overtime. I'm going to see if I can score. I think there will be hopefully enough time remaining. So I'm going to give Kelce a okay, you know what? Get the field goal. Just wanted to try for a walk-off win, avoiding overtime. But this is fine too. So let's just kick our field goal, tie it, and we'll go to OT. But man, would have been awesome if Kelce had a game-winning touchdown right there. All right, so overtime's happening, and the Giants don't score, and we did. I don't know what the hell just happened. We just scored very quickly. So 17-23 win. What happened on that last play? I need to know. So view highlights, because it didn't even really show us. A 77-yard touchdown happened. That's what I was trying to make happen. But hey, they did it for me. All right, I'll see you guys in the NFC Championship. But did that get scary for a second because my OBS was screwing up? And the Giants were up for a second. But thankfully, we got out of it. Be in the NFC Championship now. And now for the NFC Championship game against our fellow division rival, that being the Detroit Lions. So Stafford and Calvin Johnson. Tough duo to deal with, but let's see if we can match up with them. So we got a 0-0 ball game to start things off after the first drive. And it looked like they're about to score, but we get stopped, and so do they on their second. And we can't score either. So far, both defenses are playing incredibly well. We get a field goal, which may be all we need in this game because the defense are playing so well. But, okay, touchdown has been scored. So we need a touchdown here. We get it 7-10, and the Lions will take the lead 10-10. So all we need to do is get in field goal range, and we can win this game. That seems simple enough with the offense that we have. So let's give Mark Ingram some shine here because we have not utilized him. And obviously, we traded 2/3 to get him. And that's going to be a great, oh my goodness, what a big run. So that's going to be a great start to this drive. We can continue to ride our Mark Ingram's coattails and probably get us in field goal range. If they're going to allow big holes like that, this time they lock in on them. So 2nd and 8, but 2-yard gain still nonetheless. All right, let's go stick double slant. Let's throw them off here, see if they allow. They do bring pressure. So I'm going to have to get that in quickly. 3rd and 2, 52 seconds left. It looks like we're pretty close to field goal range. So I'm just going to go ahead and run this with Ingram again and see if they allow 2 yards to be gained. So, man, okay. So it's 4th and 2. Detroit does call a timeout. A field goal would be 58 yards, but obviously I think it's in our best interest to go for this and try to win this game with us having the possession because we could kick a field goal from here, but if we miss it, we're in trouble. Travis Kelce, I think, made the catch. He did. Clock's still running. 21 seconds left, so we're going to do like one more play and call this good. So hopefully we can get, okay, I cannot take, ooh, wait a minute. Oh my goodness, look at me with Lamar Jackson legs with Aaron Rodgers. Let's go. No holding. We'll call our final timeout in 2 seconds. Man, what a way of escaping that pocket right there. So 2 seconds. Our last field goal, or sorry, last timeout, and we'll kick this field goal. Detroit will surely ice us, obviously. So let's just kick this and let's get to the Super Bowl. Man, what footwork in the pocket, though, I had with Aaron Rodgers just there. Obviously, O-line had some great blocks, too. Let's give them credit. But all right. Should be a game winner. We're good. We're moving to the Super Bowl. It is now Super Bowl time, and I believe we actually draw the RG3 Colts because he was drafted earlier by them. They only went 9-8, but we've made it up, or they've made it up to this point, so we cannot count them out. So Colts, Packers here in the Super Bowl. So can we get a Super Bowl victory as we will start off hot 7-0? The Colts try to respond, but they get stopped maybe on a 4th down, and we're up 10-0 2-possession game. They're back in it, but they cannot stop our offense so far. 17-7. And still can't stop our offense. That should be all she wrote. So 1-yard rush by RG3. And it's 14-24. But we're going to hold on to the ball. And that is it, guys. We're going to win a Super Bowl and get Aaron Rodgers I mean, obviously, I don't think he had his ring yet. So we technically just won him his first one. RG3 wearing 19 is a little weird. But ultimately, the video ends with a Super Bowl in our possession, which is what we wanted. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a fun one. Definitely comment down below any other throwback teams you want to see. Plenty of options, obviously, at our disposal. But I'll see you on the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.